You are listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything with the urban sports scene on Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. Wole, Mo, Glen, and Ray are your hosts. What's good, fellas?
What's good, man? Another day, brother.
Another day and more quarterbacks unavailable.
But we got a linebacker, though.
That's on the market. Nobody said he was coming in.
I didn't say he was washed. I just said he's on the market, Ray. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry, Ray.
Hey, I'm all for Washington doing well. Then we do well. But let's keep it real. Washington Nation, Commander Nation is hurting right now.
They hurt. They'll be all right. They'll live. They get over that.
They always do. They always do.
Bounce back.
You know what I'm saying?
Take command. Take command of your emotions.
Hashtag take command of your emotions.
Man up, bro. Man up.
Man up. They need to chill out with that. They need to chill out. But you want to go ahead with the read, right? So we can hurry this thing up.
All right. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Gold. Errrything. That's with 3 R's. Also tweet us at Urban Sports Scene and hit us up on IG at Urban Sports Scene and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe to Fox Sports 1340 AM channel on YouTube as well.
All right, man. It's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We'll debate whether Seattle did Washington a solid by trading Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. All right, this afternoon, I think it's the afternoon, whatever. The Seattle Seahawks traded
recording.
Exactly, traded quarterback Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. It was reported that Washington did offer Seattle a respectful trade. Why, whoever wants to take this, why do you think Washington couldn't make this trade happen?
I think I'll start with this one, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was more Washington. I think it was more Russell Wilson. I think it was Russell Wilson did not want to come to the Washington Commanders. If you know anything about Russell Wilson's contract, he had a no trade clause. He had to approve where he wanted to go. Now, to me, it makes me stupid. He seems stupid because he went to the AFC West, right? Mm-hmm. Where you have the Raiders, you have Kansas City, you have San Diego, and we know and you have the Denver Broncos, right? They're fourth in that division. Does Russell Wilson make them better in that division? Is he better than Patrick Mahomes? You know, is he better than Justin Herbert? Is he better than Derek Carr? I mean,
Derek Carr gets shortchanged. I ain't gonna lie.
Those are legitimate questions because think about it. Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders were a playoff team this year. Seattle wasn't.
I'm gonna take a page out of the Commander playbook. If you got a ring, you better. Period. If I try to argue and say my team is better than Washington, we got rings. Hey, the defense. They did it.
You said, whoa, we doing that? That's what we doing? The rain thing, like we used to do back in the day.
Yeah, that's
that was a different team name though. You can't use the Commander for that. They don't own that. Go. I'm sorry. Continue. The Commanders don't own that. That's an old name.
Nah, you know what? You're right, Glenn. But let me ask you this, and Mo, of course, you can always chime in. Was it Russell already in arguably the second best division in football?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So he's coming from a strong division anyway. Of course, you had the 49ers, who NFC Championship appearance, Super Bowl appearance, the eventual Super Bowl champion, which has a lot of stars on that squad, and Arizona, which is emerging. It's just they can't get out their own way with some internal stuff. But that, to me, they're right there with the AFC West in terms of the strongest divisions in football. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a change. And I think that's what he wants to challenge himself. Russ is a winner. I'm just being real. I said that before we came on. Yeah. But you're right, though. There's some questions. However, defensively, I think the Broncos are pretty good. And you know the mindset of players when they see a star on the other side of the football, a la like a Michael Vick getting behind center, they play harder. Glenn, you see that when your guys feel like they have momentum, they're going to play harder. That defense, I think, is going to be motivated to shut down a guy like Mahomes or Derek Carr, as you mentioned. Yeah, it's going to be very competitive now, that division.
Yeah, you saw that with Brady, with Tampa.
2 points. Yeah. We knew last year that the West, both Western divisions and both conferences were the best divisions in their respective
Facts.
Last year, the NFC West had the best quarterback division in football. And now this year, it's the same with Russell coming over to the West. What I like about Denver is their defense is really good. Yeah, right? We'll say they're good. They have a good defense compared to what Seattle's had the last 4 years when it's been Russ cooking, right? Now, if the defense is better for Russ already, he has weapons. They're not DK or Lockett, but he has 2 6'4" receivers with ability, and he has Jerry Jeudy what was he, number 12 pick in the draft or something like that?
Judy's amazing. Doesn't matter. He's amazing. Doesn't matter.
And we know what Jerry Jeudy can do. We know that he's been handcuffed, and we know that Cortland Sutton has done things in the past. Tim Patrick was consistent last year.
Kid from Penn State. Hamlin. They got weapons. No, he got weapons. No, definitely has weapons.
They have two backs in the backfield that can catch the ball.
That Carolina boy like that.
The kid Williams is really good. Melvin Gordon is always he's steady. So I think all the things are in place for Russell to do well in Denver, despite the fact that this is the hardest division in football.
Yeah, the thing, I think he has the weapons, definitely offensively. It's going to be interesting to see how their defense does play. Dick Fangio's gone, so like he is a defensive-minded coach. So just to see how they do perform with a different voice. We've seen what Dick Fangio did with Baltimore, so he had good pedigree in terms of defense. But we don't know if the defense is going to pretty much have the same scheme. But in terms of talent, they do have talent. You got Patrick Surtain over there. You have
Darby. You have Fuller.
Yeah, Fuller.
Justin
What's the young
Justin
boy
Simmons.
on the line? I'm thinking that the one who went to was it Clemson? I want to say it's Clemson. He played the D end. I can't even think of the dude's name.
Can't recall his name.
Oh yeah, but he was a high draft pick when he got. I forgot his name. It'll come to me later. But yeah, he definitely has the weapons. Just that you're going to an offense, and I know when Ray's talking about the West was definitely tougher, but something about having to play against that type of quarterback play consistently. It's like it is difficult, right? To know that you're going to be in a shootout because of those arms, right? Because if you're looking at the West, you could say you play the Niners. The Niners are tough, but are you going to be in a shootout with the Niners? Probably not. You're going to be in a shootout. You would say the Rams, but that's hit or miss sometimes at times. But when you're going against Herbert and Mahomes, you got to score 9 times. You have to score. You know what I mean? So that's the pressure on Russ. It's like you're going to have to take that on because you're going to, and this is young talent. This is keep the buck. These dudes younger. That's just different.
But we also have to be fair to Russ. I think people are forgetting what Russ did the year before he got hurt.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm not knocking Russ. I'm just saying this pressure. I'm talking about the added competition and pressure. Like there's a difference of, okay, you're playing against a good defense. I'm not like you said, there's a good defense, but saying that you got a good defense, you got to do this on your side, but you're playing against Aaron Rodgers. That's a different amount of pressure.
Right.
Like you got to score Aaron Rodgers, right? Now you're going into Kansas City playing arguably what a lot of people call the best quarterback in the league in Pat Mahomes. Then you got a guy that even people are starting to say that is better than Pat Mahomes and Justin Herbert, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like
and Derek Carr rounds it out.
And Derek Carr around, you know what I mean? They rounds it out. So it's just the pressure of knowing that, I just can't have a decent game. I got to have a great game. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm talking about. Not to say he can't do it, but it's a different kind of pressure.
Right. So, you also got to get used to. You got to also get used to the atmosphere too. Going to Denver, you playing that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So he has to get adjusted to that as well, and it makes you wonder. Okay, what was it? Back to the question at hand. What is it that the Washington Commanders? I'm about to say
on topic. Thank you, Glenn. You saved me. I thought we were talking about Denver a lot. Sorry, go ahead.
What is it that made Russ not want to come to the Washington Commanders? And you guys said it right when you went through the list of talent that's in Denver. Right on the offensive side of the football, the Commanders don't have that. Right, the Commanders don't have that talent that Denver has on the offensive side of the football. And Russ wants to win now. Denver can win now. The Washington Commanders are still a couple years away, even with a good quarterback. And I think that made the difference.
Now,
I agree.
Based on what you guys are saying, the NFC East is an easier division.
Yeah.
So
it is.
One could interpret that maybe he should have came over to play against Danny Dimes and Jalen Hurts instead of the latter, which you already mentioned, in Mahomes and Carr and Herbert. So should that have been appealing to competition, or do you want to, as a competitor, go against the best? Because you're going to have to beat the best to get there.
I think that what Glenn said is right. I think to a point, you're in an easier division, but also you got to trust your coaching staff. You got to trust your offensive coordinators. You got to trust all that. And I'm be real, it's easier to do it. Even if you don't trust, say you're in Denver, you don't trust the OC as much. Say you don't trust, I don't know who their OC is. Say you don't trust them. You still got the talent to kind of override that. You got a lot of talent. Like
Right.
that team has a lot, like the running backs to the receivers. You got 4 receivers that can go. You got a running game. You got Russ. Like to Russ, if I'm Russ, I'm looking at like, and like, cause he like you said, right? He wins everywhere. I'm sure he's an ultimate competitor. He's like, oh, I can win with this. I can definitely. I don't care what I can win with this. Now he looks at Washington.
Another factor I think we're not thinking about is who the head coach is now, Nathaniel Hackett from Green Bay. He's the offensive coordinator. So looking at how Green Bay plays football and knowing that he's had strife in Seattle with the offensive coordinators that they've had.
Offensive coordinator.
Even though he picked the last one, even though he handpicked the last one.
He did, sure did.
I think when you couple the talent with the mind of the quarterback coach and the head coach, I think that's enticing, right?
Yeah.
Versus Scott, Antonio Gibson, and 17.
Yeah, it's just a fact. Like it's nothing that
you don't have the headache. You have the political headache that you have in Washington. You don't have all the scrutiny. I mean, we don't even know if the owner going to give up the team. I mean, let's be honest. The Commanders are a mess, right? Yeah. So if you can go to a girl who got a lot of issues, or you can go to the girl that can take care of you and give you what who don't have that.
That's crazy. That crazy.
And she looked good. And she looked good,
right?
And she looked good.
Or like one of my favorite movies, 5 Heartbeats, or the person that you got to go fight every night to prove your love, right? or you can go with his peace.
No, okay. I agree.
I mean, Denver is a great opportunity for him. I think the only setback with Denver is that those are the toughest 6 divisional games anybody's going to play all year.
Yeah.
So
that's the only thing. But to back to like, it's like Glen's talking about like the comp, like Washington fans are so upset about it, like they're blaming like the organization. They put out first round picks, and then from what I read that they asked Seattle if they wanted players too, and they just ghosted them. So it's not like they didn't put in the effort to bring Russ, but Russ chose a different situation.
Man, Russ told them people no. Russ told them people no.
He told them no. Yeah. That's what it is.
Russ told them people no. That's why they didn't call. That's why they didn't pick up the phone again.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Like, and I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm a Washington fan. Like, that's a lot for us. So it is what it is. I feel like Ray and Mo, we've always talked about sustaining success.
I was about to get to that, Ray.
Right. So I mean, really, if you're giving up players and and all these draft picks, are you really for Russ? Who you can't say that is an automatic. I mean, you would like to say it, but you can't say it's an automatic winning situation with this team. Knowing you got to trade pieces, it ain't like your squad was already world beaters anyway. Like your defense struggled. You know what I mean? Like you won 7 games. I know winning 7, whatever. You won 7 games twice, but your defense struggled. You're already limited offensively. You would have to do so much work in the offseason in terms of signing players and making sure they come into town before you can really commit to a quarterback. So to me, I'm like, for Russ, like knowing that you're limited offensively at the moment anyway, all that you're giving up all those bodies, I'm like, nah, that ain't the one. At 33, that ain't the one.
But Wole, you keep saying for like Russ as if we're not talking about a top 5 quarterback here. We got to stop.
No, I'm talking about there's levels to this. There's levels like anything. You could be a top 5 quarterback in stats wise. There's quarterbacks in this league that win easily. Like for instance, I like Matthew Stafford, but I know Matthew Stafford ain't going to win. Russ? No, I'm saying give an example. Like there are certain quarterbacks that I feel like can change wins and losses, period, easily. Like with limited talent, easily.
But Russ is one of those guys.
Nah, because he didn't do it in Seattle.
What you mean?
Like, did he do last year?
Last year he was hurt for.
No, I'm just saying, like, even though he struggled, even that there's quarterbacks. I'm gonna name you. Aaron Rodgers had a bum leg. Aaron Rodgers had a bum leg, bro, and Aaron Rodgers was able to win you
for 3,200.
No, but listen to me. No, they're talking about winning games. I'm talking about Ray mentioned like he had this burst.
He didn't struggle. He just got hurt.
No, man, you can't keep using that. He got hurt. Look, like after Seattle, after Marshawn Lynch, look, after Marshawn Lynch, after they wanted to make Russ cook, they got what they got. It is what it is. Like Aaron Rodgers, teams have begged Green Bay to give Aaron Rodgers a second receiver and always put up numbers. There's different levels to this, man. There's just different. Tom Brady comes to Tampa. Look, I'm just saying there's levels to this. So I'm just saying if you're taking Russ to come into this situation, I'm not saying Russ is a bad quarterback. I say Russ is a good quarterback. I'm not saying Russ is he's one of the top 10. He's a top 10 quarterback in this league, hands down. Not even denying that. But what I'm saying is,
before last year,
Huh?
You
What did
said
they do last? What did they do before last year? How far did they go last year?
12-4. They were
Huh?
12-4.
And where did they get? They got ousted in what round of the playoffs?
The divisional.
They got quick, like for 12-4. I'm just saying, like Russ.
Like then he was 11.
What was it before that? We were 11-5.
11-5 and
11-5
before that, then 10-5-1.
10-5. But again,
12-4.
and what if they have had the same success, the dominance when they had when Beast Mode was their running back? The same.
I mean, but you keep talking about Beast Mode as
because that's how they win. That's how he wins. That's how he wins chips.
5 Hall of Famers.
That's how he wins chips. That's how he wins chips. You play to win the game. You play to win the game. Look, you don't play for stats. You
right.
play
Hall of Famers
to win the game.
All right, I'm gonna ask you guys this question.
5 Hall of Famers on that defense. Okay. You're talking about Beast Mode?
Look, Beast Mode was that's the hand the ball off. You threw an interception. Hand the ball off. Go ahead.
Which game do you think Russ would have won the Washington Commanders last year that Taylor Heineke could not win?
Oh, it's a lot, man. I'll give him that much.
Because when I say this, and I'm saying it in just that Washington offensive line was not good, right?
Yeah.
And it was not good.
Glenn, Seattle, you want to talk about Seattle's offensive line? The man was running for his life.
Right. He was running for his life.
But at least he had receivers that could, even though he run for his life, they would get open. Washington doesn't have that.
That's hard because they got Taylor Heineke. That's hard because Taylor Heineke's a quarterback. I can't even.
Tyler Lockett, I've been saying it. Even when DK blew up, Tyler Lockett is the best receiver on that team.
Oh, easily Lockett's the best receiver on that squad.
Tyler Lockett is the best receiver on that team.
And he bailed him out. So again, we have a Terry McLaurin, right, who may not be a Washington Commander after next year.
He's gonna be a Colt.
I don't see.
He's gonna be Indianapolis Colt.
Unless the Commanders get a good quarterback. And the date that all Washington fans should circle is April 1st, right? I'm gonna tell you why all Washington fans should circle April 1st. That's the day they're supposed to determine if Deshaun Watson gets charges or not. April 1st is the date that the lawyer says, you know,
that's the one. That's what I want.
Are we gonna press charges or not? So if you're a Washington Commander fan, we lost. You lost Aaron Rodgers. You lost Russell Wilson.
That's the one.
The next best thing out there is Deshaun Watson.
Okay, so real quick, first of all, hold on, Mo, real quick. You're listening to all Burgundy Gold Everything with their
my man Mo
Fox Sports Radio,
look at him.
96.9 and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. Go ahead, Mo, and I'll jump in.
So the level of excitement about Deshaun Watson and the trepidation about Russell Wilson is what's confusing me here, Wole, right? So
yeah, I got you. You're telling me about rock with me. You're
telling me about a guy uplifting the team, and
Deshaun Watson
was 4-12. He was 4-12 the last time we seen him on a football field.
That was his fault.
Oh, it wasn't his fault.
No, that was the defense's fault.
But Russell Wilson,
they traded everybody from him.
Russell Wilson needs Marshawn Lynch to go back into beast mode.
Now, may I have my rebuttal to that statement? May I have a rebuttal? They traded everywhere. They traded D-Hop and everybody away from him. And all he was left with was, I think, Fuller, the injury-prone wide receivers was the only thing he was left with. And he got hurt. And then even the great J.J. Watt came to him and said, you know what, Deshaun, I'm sorry. J.J. came and said, I apologize. We're wasting your great years. He said that to Deshaun.
Listen, I hear all of that.
Yes.
Okay. So you're telling me,
yes,
5 Hall of Famers on one defense
leaving
in consecutive years is not the same.
You seen Clemson, Bama? Did you watch Clemson, Bama?
Not the same.
Did you watch Clemson, Bama? Did you not see a star?
Cam Chancellor walked away from the game.
You're right. Yeah.
Earl
Thomas. They got Earl Thomas too. Yeah.
Earl Thomas had to leave.
And all of them didn't like that dude. And all of them didn't like your quarterback. And ain't like that quarterback. That's why they left too. But it's a whole different topic. No, I'm not talking about that. Russ is gone.
Marshawn Lynch is the 5th Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
In that equation.
Yeah. So you're basically saying that he needs 5 Hall of Famers to win.
I lied. 4 Hall of Famers left this man, and because they could not advance to the Super Bowl without those 4, you're telling me that.
So you're telling me. So what you're telling me is that he needs 5 Hall of Famers to win. Look. Deshaun Watson. Go to the Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry. I know you're into like Russ. It's okay. I'm with you though. I see what you're going with this. It's okay. Deshaun Watson if he's available, Washington fans, you gotta shoot your shot with this man. You got to, you know what I mean? Like he's young, he's young, he's ready. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the one. You lost on Russell Wilson. I'm sorry. I know you all are sad about that. It's over. Let it go.
So the question becomes, did Denver do Washington a favor?
Yes.
By paying that price and getting him off the market.
Yes.
So now Washington can set their sights on a Deshaun Watson or Jameis Winston and younger quarterbacks. Is it time to now? Well, it's no question. Is it time? They have to move on now. So where do you move on is the question. You're saying Deshaun Watson. I'm okay with a young quarterback being drafted. Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
Go ahead, Mo.
They absolutely did them a favor because 3 first-round picks and then the plethora of players they were going to have to give up was going to cripple this organization.
Yes,
facts.
Was going to cripple this organization.
Yes,
right?
true.
So why depression?
Thinking that Deshaun Watson ain't it either because they're going to want to ransom after seeing this. After seeing this, they're going to want to ransom for him too.
Matt Corral, baby, bring in Mariota.
He young though, so I can do that. He young though.
He
young though. I can take that. He young. I can take that though.
Get your bridge quarterback for 1 more year. Suck one more time.
That's actually what I agree.
And Bryce Young is going to be there. Just go get him.
Like Bryce Young? Like Bryce something like
next
that?
Year,
like Bryce. You like him like
next
that?
Next year's quarterback class will be there. Let me say
It'd be better. So this
Young.
is the thing. This is my opinion, and this is for actually the Scott Turner lovers. For Scott Turner lovers, this is because I actually don't want I want Deshaun Watson personally, but I kind of don't want him. This is why I don't want him. To be honest with you, because it's for my Scott Turner fans. This is for you all out there. If this man is such a genius, right? If he's such a genius. Why not just go ahead and take a Jameis Winston, draft a young quarterback as the individual who will take Jameis's job down the road in year 2, year 3, and to see if it can work. If he's that good of an offensive coordinator, he can win with Jameis. Because everybody acts like they use the term genius. They throw that word genius. He's a genius. He's smart. He had Taylor Heineke, so we can't go off of that alone. If you can get a Jameis Winston, if he's that dude, if he's the dude that you all tell me he is, right?
Yeah.
If he is, if that's what it is. This is what I'm talking to my Washington fans right now. I'm talking to them.
Glenn said it best. Glenn said, yeah.
But Jameis is coming. You realize Jameis is coming off an injury, right?
Oh, I know.
Jameis is coming off an injury. So if that's the case, you can get Jameis, you might well just re-sign Fitzpatrick. Same type of, So
Mariota or Trubisky. Those are the two.
Here's the name.
James will take Trubisky. That's insulting.
Here's the name that's out there though. Unless I miss something.
Insulting.
Jimmy G still gonna be available.
Oh, he has to be. Okay, you know what?
You gotta give up assets for him, Glenn. That's the only thing.
Oh no, it's second, third right now. Third.
I don't want to trade that much for Jimmy G.
Hey, Ray, I'm with you. Me either. Nothing
against him with the post injury. I don't think that you need to do that. You can draft a quarterback and you.
But this is my thing. Like
Trubisky again or Mariota.
I'm not. You got to trade. You heard it. You got to trade for Mitchell Trubisky too, right? You got to give up assets for Trubisky too.
But you have a quarterback coming in that you don't even trust. You done told the whole nation you ain't trusting Tyler Heineke, right? So right now you hitting and missing, right? No quarterback.
All day,
no quarterback. So at the end of the day, whatever you get, no quarterback, and this kid has to be your quarterback again, knowing the organization has no trust, no faith. He's not even in. You don't even see a picture of him in the Commanders uniform, like when they run promos, right? they don't have faith in this dude. The organization from the top to the bottom to our quarterback, and right now Washington's batting 0 for whatever for quarterbacks, and it's looked like you're gonna end up with Tyler Heineke again as the starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders.
They called every team in the league according to reports.
They have.
So it shows the desperation. I totally agree with you, Glenn. With that being said, there's still a wide open market out there. But if you don't want to trade much, of course, I mentioned a few options. You got Bridgewater, who's definitely going to be out there, and he would fit Scott Turner's system because he's going to check down. He's going to not make mistakes. He's going to play.
Is he really?
He's going to play almost mistake-free football. I think Mariota will be a good fit. You talking about Scott Turner? It's only certain quarterbacks I feel like will fit his system.
What's his system?
But y'all keep talking about these quarterbacks that are hurt. Jameis's last 3 years was.
I didn't say Jameis.
I said
Jameis's last 3 years were 30 for 30, bench riding, and a dual share with Taysom Hill. I don't want that.
Jameis, what was Jameis' record before he got hurt this year, though?
And
he was doing exactly. His stats were looking good. It's like looking great
on that team.
Sean
Payton.
Saints.
Sean Payton, exactly. And with my point again, listen to my point. No, I agree. But look at my argument though. No, I'm with you. Look at my argument. What did I just say? I didn't. This is what I said for Washington fans.
You're saying that
if Scott Turner is a genius, you just said it. My point. If he's a genius,
you know they're being facetious.
Look, this is what I said. I'm speaking to my audience.
No. People think he's a head coaching candidate.
Candidate.
Because it's some big names that love him. But again, from our perspective, he's living off of his name. And that's where he's got to come out of the shadow of his dad. And that shows that he's going to be able to adjust to the talent that he has. He's been dealt a difficult hand, yes. But when you, like Wole keeps saying, a genius, that means you can adapt to the talent. You can utilize your talent effectively. And he hasn't shown that he's been able to do that. That's the biggest issue he's facing.
Yeah. Because look at I use
I told y'all 2 years ago the worst thing having that team was they made the playoffs. They won 14 games in 2 years.
Look, man, we ain't going that same argument, man. We're in 2020. We're in 2022. You keep trying to use that same argument. Look, man.
You had Haskins and broke leg Alex Smith.
And still probably the better quarterback. And broke leg was still probably the best quarterback they had.
This man can't. Ain't no amount of genius in the world with that kind of quarterback.
See, this is the no.
Alex Smith, did he not do well in Kansas City before he came to Washington?
And Kansas City in his prime with those.
You talking about the broke leg?
He wasn't in his prime in Kansas City.
You talking about broke leg? But this is my thing. See, you know what? I'm gonna use an example.
I'm trying to say Andy Reid is that guy.
But let me give an example. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of genius. Let me give you an example. Let me give you
exactly.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you. Let me give you an example of a genius. Let me give you an example of a genius.
I agree with you.
Jared Goff with the Rams was horrible prior to somebody getting there. Horrible. They wanted him running him out of town.
With Jeff Fisher.
Don't do this. Everybody don't revisionist history. At that particular point in time, everybody said he was trash. They looked at this 30-foot. They looked at this. What was that? They were on HBO. What's that thing on
Real
HBO?
Sports.
Not Real Sports, right? Hard Knocks. Everybody's frying him and said he's not an NFL quarterback. Everybody was frying this dude, bro. All of a sudden, Sean McVay come to town.
And what happened with Sean McVay?
And what happened? What happened? What he turned into? He turned into he gets the bag because of Sean McVay.
What also happened when Sean McVay came?
He got exposed. He got exposed that Sean McVay was calling the plays.
They brought in receivers. They brought in receivers to help him out. They brought speed.
He was a rookie with Jeff
But I'm just telling you, bro.
Playing exotic
dude, you know this, bro. Don't do that because you know this. This dude, even with that, no one believed this dude could even throw anything. He looked that out of place. Sean McVay comes there, gets him a system where he doesn't have to make that many reads, and he becomes a better quarterback.
Like a lot of quarterbacks.
That's all I'm saying. Again, there are geniuses in this thing. Oh, let's go another route. Everybody hates Garoppolo. Everybody hates Garoppolo.
But you gotta
look what Sean McVay do. Look at Sean McVay. I'm sorry, Kyle Shanahan. He's taking this dude to the Super Bowl, NFC Championship game. If you tell me you can get Jimmy G, folks be like, nah, I don't want Jimmy G.
For sure.
Kyle gets his hands on him. He goes to the Super Bowl.
We said this last week.
He goes to the NFC Championship game. There's levels to this. So there's levels to this.
But there's super levels. Like you're talking
so when people talk about, you give Kyle Shanahan Heineke, I guarantee he can win with Heineke. I guarantee he can win against Heineke.
There's only 5 geniuses.
Mo. Okay, Mo. Hold on, Mo. Jalen Hurts. All the things that was said about Goff was said about Jalen Hurts.
Yes. Jalen Hurts is another one too. And they winning games.
But they win a game because they run the football.
See, look, but they wouldn't.
There you go.
But Glenn, they coach to his skill set though. You get what I'm saying? They're not asking him to throw the ball 500 times. They say, you know what? You're limited. We're gonna do what you do best, and we're gonna win off of this.
Yeah.
Okay, Wole, where's the equivalent of Jalen Hurts at your quarterback position the last 2 years? Where's the equivalent?
This is my thing to that though.
Why? But we're comparing Jalen Hurts to Jared Goff and to Garoppolo. We ain't comparing to Washington's quarterbacks.
But see, Mo, you've already stated, does Heineke have wheels? Can he run? Is he fast?
He's mobile.
Oh, he's mobile.
He's mobile.
Did they utilize his mobility often?
He utilized his mobility because he wasn't getting no blocking.
I know, but did they utilize his mobility though? Did they boot him a lot? Did they do all of that? Like, look at Kyle. Look how Kyle runs his offense. Did they do any of that stuff to Kyle? And he's mobile though, right? Like, if Kyle had him, Kyle would do a lot of other things with that dude.
Always comes back to Scott Turner.
I'm telling you, man.
He'll never be a guest. He'll never be a guest on this show.
Wole, you're telling me that you think Todd? You telling me that?
I like Taylor Heineke, bro. I'm keeping it buck. If Kyle gets his hands on him, it's a different story.
You're telling me that Kyle's supposed to be not Kyle. Scott is supposed to be such a genius that he works in 150 carries for Heineke, because that's what Jalen Hurts got. Because
I'm telling you that.
Wheels.
I'm gonna tell you
because
this.
He has actual wheels.
No, but listen to me. We saw I'm gonna say this again. We saw it during the season. When the team ran the football a certain amount of times, they won football games, right?
True.
You're
Glen,
blaming that on
Heineke.
Listen.
You're not listening to me. This is about winning offense. No, listen, Glen. I'm not Glen. Listen, Mo, listen. No, Mo, listen. What's the object of a football game? What is the object to do in a football game? In any sport, is to what? Okay. So I would use this. Kyle Shanahan had Garoppolo in a playoff game, and he threw the ball one time and won a football game, threw the ball only 8 times.
8 times.
8 times. So let me use that analogy into a regular season. You're winning football games when your quarterback is throwing a limited amount of times. You go on a winning streak. Then you decide to go away from that and throw the football a lot of times, knowing that your quarterback is limited. So what did that tell me? As an offensive-minded coach, that tells me is that you're more fixated on scheme-oriented, putting up stats, and what.
Wole, you're being disingenuous. You guys were behind in some games.
No, because again, Ray, we talked about this on every show. Nope, that's a false. Actually, that's a false statement, because you came up starting the game throwing the football. If you go back to those games, they started off the percentage was already lopsided. Then he turned the football over, and it got even worse. Again, if you go back to your game plan, what was to run the football throughout.
Deny that. I give you that one. I can't.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, run the football. Just as a coaching, that again, you're doing something as an offensive coordinator. You're doing, forget the throw in or whatever. In terms of winning the football game, you're doing something that your quarterback isn't able to do. You're not. Kyle is not asking Jimmy G if he's running the ball well with Debo. If he's running well with Mitchell, he's running the football. He's not going to say, "Hey, let me start throwing the ball 30, 40 times when this is working."
You also don't have what they have on their line in San Francisco. You do not have the stable of running backs they have in San Francisco.
Again, no, you're not.
Plus the wide receiver.
Again, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about game for game. I'm talking about game for game strategy. You talking about what they do? I'm telling you
that talent.
Yeah, again, Mo, they didn't have the game. They didn't have the talent to beat Seattle. They had the talent to beat these other teams.
But what it is the mindset of the offensive line and being able to control the clock. And I guess if you want to go back to what it really is, when Washington was able to control the clock and eat up much of the time and tell the team's defense on the field. Go back to the Tampa game. The reason they won that Tampa game, it was because they kept the Tampa Bay defense on the field and they kept Tom Brady off the field. And only way you can do that is by controlling the football game. Now, what hurt Washington this year and hurt Scott Turner was when J.D. McKissick went down. There was no longer a check down for Tyler Heineke to go to, because J.D. McKissick was the third down.
I do want to go to Ray next, though. I want to go to Ray next.
My whole point is, seems like the Titans and the Ravens, even when guys get hurt, and the Ravens had the worst injury plague season than any team, they stick to their strengths and they stick to their scheme. Tennessee, the same thing. Derrick Henry went down. They continue to be a run-heavy offense. So I don't understand why the game plan has drastically changed in Washington when it's clear that if you're trying to be a pass-heavy offense, it's not going to work.
Very easy. You don't have the personnel.
You don't have a Roger Saffold. You don't have a Taylor Lewan. You don't have a Ben Jones. You don't have that.
Yeah, it's personnel.
Roulier got hurt, right? Roulier got hurt and missed a substantial amount of time.
Okay, so this is there. I get your point.
After a good season, right? You had to play some young bucks, right?
Mhm.
Come on, you're making it.
Y'all making it seem like Washington don't have no talent at all. Like
No.
that's
Bruh, look. No, what's so funny?
That's
This is
what
what
I'm
I tell.
trying-
This is what. No, I'm telling you.
Washington has 7-win
Look, this is what I'm
talent.
gonna tell you.
That's
This is
what
what I'm
they
gonna tell you.
have.
Let me tell you what this.
Why
Let me
they
tell you.
won
Let
7
me.
games.
No, it's a lot of it's the bad coaching. But this is let me tell you. Let me keep it a buck. The issue, and I said this before on every show about the offensive line. People are spoiled by having Trent Williams. That's a fact.
Yes.
I don't care what you tell me. People are spoiled by
Absolutely.
Trent. Because I'm gonna tell you this for real, offensive line play. Do you like Cosme? A lot of people think Cosme graded really high as a right tackle. Do you like Leno? Leno played well for a left tackle. The problem is Leno is not freaking Trent Williams.
No.
That is the problem. Leno is not Trent Williams. All right. You like our Brandon Sheriff? Is he a top guard? He's a top guard.
He won top guard.
Yeah, he's a top guard. Do you like you mentioned Rudy? Is he a good center? He's a good center. Your weakest guard was your other guard. If you compare Washington's line play to a lot of teams in the NFL, they're ranked better than a lot of teams in the NFL. You know what I mean? They're not. Are they San Francisco line? No, because you got a dog. Is he better than the Titans line? No, because you got a dog. But those are different situations, though.
They got dogs.
Yes, that's a different situation.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Washington's line doesn't play to
the
Washington line doesn't play to their strength. They don't play to their strength.
It was a lot of lineups on this.
It's injury, because injuries. But you gotta, but there's no depth. So to Glen's point, like the reason the line wasn't,
but there's no
great
continuity
because you weren't deep. But I don't blame that on. I don't put that on them not like that messing them up. Like they have talent enough to win football games. Period. Like I've seen worse.
They won 7. That's all they can win.
Man, they should have won more than 7, bro. More than 7. You want me to go to other games for you, Mo? That was like under the that could have been more than 7 because it wasn't like just 7 and none.
You want me to pick? You want me to talk about one game that you
the Giant game? The Giant game. The Giant.
Okay.
We'll say Giant game, right?
So, yes.
I can name other games though, bro.
That's a 6-10 team, right?
I can name another. I can name the Denver game they should have won. That puts them over there. So I don't really know what you're talking about.
They should have won the Green Bay
Chargers game. They could have won the Chargers game.
They should have won the Green Bay game.
That's a Chargers game.
They was in the red zone 5 times. It didn't score.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It was in the red zone 5 times.
There's another one too. Actually,
nothing.
If you're gonna go that argument, Mo, if you're gonna use that argument, yeah.
Yes, Mo. So if you score a touchdown, right? If you score field goals, 5 field goals, 15 points, you win the football game.
That's when they had Blewett as the kicker.
They got Blewett.
But Mo, that way, if you're in the red zone 5 times, you get 15 points.
You should at least get 15. You should at least get 15.
You should at least get 15. They win the football game.
It's tough, man. I don't like doing that game. You know what? Back to my quarterback discussion. It's okay. Russ is gone. Fans, you'll be okay. Live with it. Just be okay. I'm here for you. I'm on Twitter. I'm here for you. I'm here for you fans who missing Russ.
This franchise a favor.
Yeah, I think so too. They did the team a favor.
Well,
right?
we on next week, right? I'm not on next week. Shoot, March Madness is next week. Sorry,
you know what?
So I can't be here next week, but I'm hoping to at least see you all talk about who the quarterback is going to be. Hopefully, we'll have some clarity by next week.
I want a new topic, man.
Well, we may not actually if Deshaun Watson is still hanging.
I know. I want a new topic. I'm sick of quarterback talk. It's killing me. It's too much quarterback talk.
Well, you know me. I always think we need a running back because I'm a big Antonio Gibson fan.
Yeah, I know. Glen don't like the running back.
Glen, all I'm saying is your best running back is a wide receiver.
Yeah. Right.
I heard. Never mind. No. We got to roll. We got to end the show, man. We got to end the show. I was going to say something else. I was going to say something else. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Search all Burgundy and go Errrything with the Urban Sports Scene. Also tweet us at Urban Sports Scene and hit us up on our IG Urban Sports Scene at Urban Sports Scene and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page as well. Make sure you subscribe to the Fox Sports Radio 1340 AM Hopewell, Virginia, and Urban Sports Scene YouTube channels. Anyway, anything anybody wants to say before I close this thing out? You good? Well, we're good. Okay, cool. You've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold, Errrything with the Urban Sports Scene on Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, 4 Asians. You dig? Deuces. A Mega. Lead us out, big homie.
Peace.